TD Podcast. We are your hosts, Tony and Dak, and in today's episode, we are going to be recapping the Wildcard weekend and going through all of our fun stuff that we have with this episode. Starting with our first and 10, a little bit of an overview of who won the games, just to get our toes wet and let us know. And then we have a bit of news. Mike Tomlin stepped away from the Steelers. If you haven't seen that, I'm glad we're the ones to break the news to you. No, this does not mean that he's available to be a head coach elsewhere. It's similar to what was happening with Sean Payton a couple years ago, where he stepped away from the Saints and then he was traded for by the Broncos.
Took a TV job, kind of, sat out a little bit. He clearly wanted to move on. And that's kind of what happened. I think there's only 1 year left on Tomlin's contract, if I'm right.
One or two, yeah.
1 or 2. But it's crazy. I mean, we have 9 openings in the NFL. That is more than a fourth of coaches will be changing. And it's kind of weird because the Steelers have had like 4 coaches since they've been like as a franchise. And Tomlin's been there for 19 years. That's kind of weird. That AFC North is now searching for 3 more coaches. And Zach Taylor is presumably on the hot seat as well for the Bengals. So,
Yeah.
That's a crazy division if you look at it there. John Harbaugh is kind of narrowing down his teams, but I wouldn't be surprised if he even looks at the Steelers. I think he'll look at it, but I don't think he'll end up going there just because who's going to play quarterback next year for the Steelers? Like there's with Tomlin stepping away, Aaron Rodgers is not going to is going to play
They got Will
probably
Howard.
next year. That's so. But yeah, that's crazy news. A lot of coaching changes. We're going to talk about a lot of coaching changes in the offseason when they come. And we'll probably try maybe do a coaching carousel episode where we predict who's going to become coaches for what team. But I look for the Steelers to hire somebody young. That's kind of what they do. They hire them young and let them grow. And that's kind of what they did with Tomlin. He's been there 19 years, but he doesn't look a day over 55. So,
Well, because he's 53.
So
I just looked it up.
So he was there for a long time, um, and um, and we'll see what happens with all the other coaches. But yeah, crazy time for the NFL right now.
Yeah, the craziest part about it is the worst coach is the only one that still has a job from that division. Anyways, so back to the overview of the games from this wild card weekend. So the Rams won 34-31. The Bears won 31-27. The Bills 27-24. 49ers 23-19. And a little quarterback action there. Patriots won 16-3, and the Texans won 30-6. So breaking into our next segment, our red zone, which is going to be our big chunk of our episodes. Think of it like red zone. That's where you got to make your big plays. You got to secure the bag. You got to get in the end zone, all that fun stuff. So our red zone is our thoughts on the games, our overreactions, I told you so's, and possible stats. I think today we only have thoughts on the games and overreactions, and then Dak has an I told you so. So let's go ahead and jump right into the thoughts on the games. Dak, you took the lead on this one, so I'll let you jump right in.
Yeah, so kind of with the red zone theme, the Rams probably have the best red zone threat there is. Devontae Adams is probably the best receiver on the 1 yard line, or even in the red zone. From that Rams Panthers game, I don't think he caught a touchdown at all. I think he was kind of injured a little bit, but I mean, Puka just, all right, first 2 touchdowns of the game, boom, he has it. So to go with that red zone theme, the Rams are crazy when it comes to threats there because I mean if you want to run the ball, Kyron Williams is a decent back to throw it to as well out of the backfield, and then if you take away those three threats, Tyler Higbee had a nice grab in that game this weekend. But I honestly thought the Panthers were going to come back. Jimmy Horn, a rookie, had a big drop there on 4th down. Bryce Young did a good job of getting out of the pocket to the right or to the near side to us on the TV, and Jimmy Horn just made a crucial drop. But I don't think the Panthers really expected themselves to be there because of how bad that NFC South is. You know, it's anyone's division. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's really an upsetting year for the Buccaneers because we all thought the Buccaneers would be there. So the playoff experience and the experience this Panthers team got this year, I think it's going to be crucial for them later on. But also, did you see Cam Newton slamming that mallet into that drum and
Mm-mm.
was quite the scene. Cam Newton returning back to Carolina for the first time since he played there, since he came back again before. It was quite a good
Mm-hmm.
scene to start that game up for the Rams and Panthers game this weekend.
Yeah. Two things. One, Devonte Adams is the best red zone receiver. Tight ends
Yeah,
are a realm of their own.
yeah.
And two, it's only because Hunter Renfrow has been nerfed since leaving the Raiders. Um, yeah. The Panthers, I'm pleasantly surprised by how they performed. I wasn't able to watch much of any of these games. That's why I don't have many thoughts, more of the overreactions. Um, but seeing the Panthers come that close and make the Rams sweat a little bit was definitely fun. Not seeing big not upsets, just drop offs, just destroying people. That's always a good thing to see in the playoffs. Outside of the Texans and Steelers, we had a lot of close games this weekend, so that's always good for the NFL. What's your next one? Looks like you're typing something up real quick.
So I just wanted to talk about the Bears and Packers game. I got to watch that game a little bit on Saturday, and I watched the first half of it, and it was just like, okay, the Packers are just doing whatever they want to do. And then later on, I looked back, and I hadn't really been watching it, and I was like, holy, the Bears have the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the Packers blew a 17-point lead,
18, I believe.
um, 18-point lead, and that's crazy. And now hearing that the Packers still want to extend, um,
Matt
drawing a
LaFleur.
blank here, LaFleur, after he was considered on the hot seat was is also kind of crazy to me. Either he's on the hot seat or you want to extend him. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Make up your mind. But there was a Christian Watson touchdown, I believe, that got taken back that was pretty crucial of a game, a call. But again, this NFC North is just firepower. Like, there's just firepower on firepower on firepower there. And if you wanted taking I'm hearing that Mike McDaniel is interviewed to the OC job with the Lions. So again, that's just more firepower there. Those matchups are always fun. But the Bears, they they're still the Bears, but they're making it a little farther. And when they play the Rams next week, we'll talk about that later on this week.
Yeah. I also didn't watch this game because one, I'm just really sick and tired of having to do all this streaming service mumbo jumbo. So that's that. This was my take of I'm done with it. I only did it for the Bills Jags game, but me and my brother were playing Arc Raiders, and we just kept periodically checking the score. And my brother got slowly more and more upset because the Bears were winning and were coming back. He is a big Caleb Williams hater because he thinks he's overrated and all that mumbo jumbo. I don't really have an opinion because I don't watch the Bears that
I think
often. So,
Colson Loveland looked decently too. He's becoming their best receiver.
oh
Like he's leads the team in receiving yards right now, and he's been a big threat. And I don't think they regret taking him at 10 there instead of at 14 when the Colts got Tyler Warren.
yeah,
I think they're pretty happy with their pick.
yeah. I thank you for reminding me. We need to say mention something. So in one of our last videos, we did a draft. It was the playoffs draft, and we said that Roma Dunze was not the leading receiver anymore. Well, dummy me, when I was checking the stats, he's not the leading receiver, but it's because he only played in 12 games. So, silly me, he had 661 yards to DJ Moore's 682. He was only 20 yards down in five less games.
Mm.
So that's why he fell off in the second half because he wasn't playing, which makes a lot of sense. So he would have been a long shot. Uh, well, by far their number one receiver in terms of
Yeah,
yards,
let's not
touchdowns,
let's not forget who we
and
forgot to talk about for the AFC
yeah,
draft.
we don't need to
We
talk about
forgot
it.
Nico Collins.
Yeah, we
So
sucked it up. This time we were well
yes,
prepared for when we take those videos and we record them. I've been
yes.
already starting. We got a whole bunch of new rules, all that fun stuff. But let's stay in the present.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're trying to cook up some series to kick this off season in the butt. So hopefully you guys can enjoy the series we come up with. But for now, we're locked into the playoffs, and we've got the next game being the Niners and Eagles. Your cup of tea. So
My cup of tea. I told you so. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Don't count out the San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan is the best coach in the NFL. He is. He's the best offensive minded coach in the NFL. I don't know if you know this, but our wide receiver one was a 5-star quarterback coming out of college and went to Tennessee. Our wide receiver one right there, and Jawan Jennings.
yeah, he
Okay. And
was.
he threw a dot. Kyle Shanahan said he wished he threw a worse ball because he doesn't want Christian McCaffrey having to catch that over the shoulder. But, Christian McCaffrey being the best receiving back in the NFL, as he is, catches a over the shoulder ball as a receiver or a running back, and the Niners take care of the Eagles, who cry Eagles cry. AJ Brown, you're out of there. Bye. See ya. You can't keep complaining about not getting the ball and then dropping the ball. But hey, your brother over there, your teammate, DK Metcalf from Ole Miss does the same thing. So I guess it just must be an Ole Miss thing. You guys continue to drop balls. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for the Niners matchup with the Seahawks. Again, is what we're going to talk about later. But having Trent Williams back was a huge, huge thing for the Niners. He's just a presence there. It helps, having him as a left tackle, Brock Purdy, your blind side, that helps a lot. Just with your confidence, understanding Trent Williams is an all pro. He's probably easily a first ballot Hall of Famer. You
Oh
do
yeah.
lose George Kittle, who tore his Achilles, which is pretty sad. I think they're going to investigate, what really is going on with this power plant,
Mhm.
because I don't know if you know about the power plant
I saw
theory.
it. Yeah.
It's Kendrick Bourne even shouted it out, saying shout out to the power plant. So this might be something that they're really going to look into, and maybe the Niners do need to move their practice somewhere else, because they are the most injured team since that power plant. Or since they moved next to that power
Hmm.
plant, or the power plant moved there. I don't know who came first, but yeah,
Yeah.
very scary. Not scared at all, because I think Jake Tungus is gonna move
He's
in well
good.
at that tight end spot.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried there. But yeah, the Eagles fired their OC today.
Hmm.
So the
Kevin
Eagles,
Patullo.
everyone was, I kept saying it all year. They're like, okay, they're fine because they're winning. They're fine because they're winning. But what happens when we're not winning? What
Hmm.
happens? And clearly we are seeing it right now. It's going to be a big change. Big change.
Yeah. My buddy at work, he watched our NFC draft and he was like, "Dude, you guys didn't draft AJ Brown." I said, "Yeah, because he's a toxic player. I don't want that cancer in my
Yeah.
locker room."
We,
He said it
I
doesn't
don't,
matter
I mean,
for
cool.
one
He's
game.
big.
For one game, they were winning when him and Nick Sirianni got into it on the sideline. They were winning.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that on my team by any means.
Sirianni wanted him off the field, I guess, and I don't know why AJ Brown was not getting. Who knows what's going on there? But I think there's a reason why the Titans got rid of AJ Brown when they did, because
Well,
guess who
that's
still was their head
because Mike
coach?
Vrabel was peeved off at him. They
That's
went
what I'm
over
saying.
his
Guess who
head.
their coach was? Vrabel doesn't allow that. Vrabel,
Mm-mm.
clearly his guys play for him. All right,
Mm-hmm.
you don't play for yourself. And I think AJ Brown is kind of proving that he's, I believe, guess who his cousin is? One of the most toxic players in NFL history,
You think
Antonio Brown.
is it? Are you sure? I'm pretty
I
sure that's
believe
Hollywood
it
Brown.
is his cousin. I thought AJ was related. It
Uh-uh.
wasn't Hollywood. All right, AJ Brown and Antonio Brown are
It's
related.
Marquise. Yeah, it's Hollywood.
Ah,
Yeah, because
sorry about
the
that.
Raiders fans were joking about it, saying that we would go pick him up for the 2 weeks that
Well,
Antonio Brown
well,
was a
they
Raider.
got the same last name, so
Yeah, same
yeah,
mindset. But I think it comes back to Mike Vrabel not putting up with it, similar to Mike Tomlin, how he doesn't put up with
yeah,
it, and then
yeah.
the players lose their minds when they leave. Maybe that's what that was. So, but also going so back to my take for the Niners Eagles game, I don't think I had the Niners written off. I just thought there was slim to no chance. But I didn't leave. I always leave the door open against the Eagles because of how toxic that team is.
Well,
It's
I think
pathetic.
you had big guys step up at that linebacker
Oh
position.
yeah, yeah.
You had a guy just activated off the
Eric
practice
Kendricks.
squad, and then Eric Kendricks has been balling.
Yeah.
You had a guy I forget his name, but he had 10 tackles and one pass deflection, and he literally just got activated, I believe. Or if not, he was activated 2 weeks ago. Um, but big unsung hero of that team. You got two guys and Demarcus Robinson and Kendrick Bourne who, were just guys that they signed in the offseason were like, okay, come be a vet on our team.
Mark
Um,
Mark Marquez Marquise Sigel. Is that who you're talking
did he
about?
have 10 tackles and one pass deflection?
Nobody on the Niners had 10 tackles, but he had seven. Eric Kendricks had 7 tackles and 3 assists. Maybe that's what you're thinking
There
of.
was a guy on the team. He might have had 10 total, maybe not 10. I don't know,
That might
but
have been Eric
I
Kendricks
saw the
then.
report. I saw the report where it was another guy that had 10
Garrett Wallow.
tackles.
He
He was a
had
white guy.
5 tackles and 6 assists. Garrett is, I don't know if he's white. Uh, he's close enough if he's not. Anyways, um, to the next game, Texans versus Steelers. This is the biggest blowout of the playoffs, and to
Well,
nobody's
I want to say
surprise.
one more thing about the Niners. Fred Warner's practice window opened up today.
Yeah,
After dislocating and breaking an ankle, his practice window opened up. He is trying to make a return for the NFC Championship game next week if they win. That is insane because guy
yeah,
broke his ankle and dislocated it like 10 weeks ago.
yeah. I saw a video of him scaling. I think it was the stadium. He's a lunatic. But Texans Steelers game, big blowout, 30-6. From what I've heard, it was a tale of turnovers. C.J. Stroud had 2 fumbles and an interception, almost two, but Aaron Rodgers had a pick six, maybe two. I don't remember exactly, but it was a
Garrett
tale
Wallow
of the
was the
second
guy, by the way.
half.
Sorry.
Yep. But the game was a tale of the second half because in the first half the score was 6-7. Of course it was. Um, yeah, the Texans defense is good. Aaron Rodgers is old. That's really all that is. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, especially with Mike Tomlin leaving. But it's going to be a different AFC North next year. I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
So I guess the thoughts on the games for the Bills-Jags game. Just a little tidbit. The Bills were getting eviscerated by penalties early in this game. It was like always the worst timing too. It was a holding, it was a offsides, it was a false start. All those little ticky tack penalties. They'd get momentum, go back, get momentum, get back. I thought that was going to line the Jags up for just a smooth sail a little bit, or at least help them reel it in, get some momentum going. But Josh Allen, even though he got hit a lot, he hurt his hand at one point, smacking a player's helmet. He was obliterated at the goal line, hurting his knee. He came in with a hurt ankle. There was a play where James Cook got hurt. That game alone with these injuries makes me worried for the Bills the rest of this playoffs. But I'm
And
not
they
going to write
go
them off.
to Denver and that high altitude. It's something to monitor
Yeah.
when we talk about our preview.
Yeah, because Josh Allen also has a cannon of an arm, so he might just launch that thing set 80 yards with the high altitude. That would be sick. Because other thing, Brandon Cooks, dog. He saved them. He was the best receiver in this game. Period. Including Jacoby Myers, including Brian Thomas Jr., including Parker Washington. Parker Washington had a great game, I won't lie. But Brandon Cooks saved this game. He had an absolutely insane catch on the right on the out of bounds line. My brain is blanking what is usually called sideline catch. The over and the ball was perfect as well. Josh Allen threw it right over the linebacker's hands. It like this, whew, like barely into Brandon Cook's arms as he was falling with the DB on his back. I thought there was no way they caught it. He came up with it. I lost my mind. That was on third down too. It was either third or fourth down. And then Fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure this is the Bills' last drive. Brandon Cooks, butter bond naked on a post. Got 35 yards. I think it might have been a fourth down as well. It was either third or fourth down again. He must have some sort of ability where his attributes are just boosted by like 10 or 15 on third and fourth down because that man was cooking, no pun intended,
Third and
on
Jawan Jennings, baby.
on third and fourth down. He was cooking. So something to keep your eye out on for the next game. But Brandon Cooks and Josh Allen had great games. The run game was non-existent as well because the Jags defense is stout. But it was a great game to watch. Great football. It was just a fun game to watch. So now let's get to my bread and butter of this episode, the overreactions. So Dak hasn't seen any of these unless he snuck a peek at my
No, I was at a basketball game, guys.
perfect. So my overreactions. These aren't totally all mine, but these are things that like okay, I could see somebody saying this after these games, after these results. So starting off, Chargers aren't ready yet. This one I don't totally disagree with. They can't beat playoff teams. They lost 4 of their 6 games to playoff teams. They split with the Broncos early in the season when they were underperforming, being the Broncos. And then they beat the Steelers.
The Colts.
Yeah, the Colts
lost
weren't.
To the Colts.
The Colts weren't. The Colts were good at that point. And then they beat the Steelers, who got in on a technicality. I don't consider the Steelers a playoff team. They won because their division was a dumpster fire. So the
guy can't make a kick.
The 2 teams that they beat, one they played twice. The other was bailout in terms of them being a playoff
The
team.
one they played twice. That's your team, right?
The Broncos?
That's your team? No. The Raiders.
What about the Raiders? They're not a playoff team.
I know, but they still beat your team twice.
Yeah, but we're talking about playoff teams, my guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just heard that, they beat a team twice, and I considered it was yours because yours is a dog dookie.
No, they didn't even beat the Broncos twice. They beat them once. They split.
I'm saying the Raiders.
I don't. Who cares about the Raiders? We're talking about the playoffs. Second point, Herbert in his playoffs career, 54% passing, 674 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 0-3. His three games, Patriots this season, 3-16 or 3-16. Texans last year, 32-12, obliterated. And then in 2022, Jags 31-30. Herbert
that was that crazy comeback by the Jags that they magically came back, and that's Trevor Lawrence's, I believe, his only playoff win.
Probably. But Herbert, great quarterback during the regular season, right? Sure, whatever. But when it comes to playoffs, he has not won anything.
Something about that Chargers quarterbacks, man. That's what Phillip Rivers was.
And I don't want to hear it about his weapons. I'll take the O-line. I'll take his offensive line. Yes, they were really bad.
Keenan Allen prime. You had Keenan Allen prime.
Yeah.
Now you have Keenan Allen, but you have some Quentin Johnson. He's pretty decent football player now. He doesn't have bricks for hands anymore, and you have Ladd, who's
pretty darn good if you get him a football. Get this man the football. What are we doing here? Like,
you're only saying that 'cause you have him on your fantasy team.
No, he's a good football player. He's a gritty, hardworking receiver. Anyways, let's get to the next one. So our second overreaction: Matt LaFleur fired. So this, as Dak mentioned earlier, he was reportedly on the hot seat, but now there's been people saying that he's going to be extended. But let's take a deep dive into this. I was going through these while I was at work, per usual, and I had a thought pop in my head. Now this is gonna, if we have any Packers fans, you might have to watch out for myself. But they had about the same, if not more, success with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
And I thought I was crazy when I thought that. But let's take a dive into the first 7 years of both of them as head coach of the Packers. So Mike McCarthy, first 7 years, 74-38, 5 playoff appearances, 6 wins, 1 Super Bowl ring, and averaged a top 7 offense. Right?
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur, 76-40 because more games because yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. We understand.
6 playoff appearances, 3 wins, no rings, top 10 offense. And it
And
was
continue to lose in the NFC Championship game.
and continues to lose in the playoffs. Um you may be like, "Well, Mike McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers." Yeah.
He also had Devontae Adams too for a little bit. But
Yeah, but this is a different league. This is not the same. Not saying that Aaron Rodgers' prime wouldn't
Jordan
be
Love
here,
and
but
Aaron Rodgers are practically around the same early on in Aaron Rodgers' career. Like Rodgers was still slinging the football a lot. Yes,
yeah.
was he a little bit more accurate, but they both love to sling the ball
Mhm.
downfield. I think there's no excuse now with Jordan Love. You have a decent running back, and
Mhm.
I mean, you had a decent one in Aaron Jones, but now you have Josh Jacobs. There's no excuse. Your defense has been better than your offense as of recent. I mean,
Mhm.
beginning of the year, the defense was good. For LaFleur, I think the only excuse he has is okay. We've dealt with some injuries, but so is every NFL team right now.
Mhm.
I mean, every big star is going out. I
Yeah.
mean, it seems like every team's wide receiver one has gotten hurt at some point this year. Like, let's be honest. I mean, your excuse can't be injuries unless you're the Indianapolis Colts because I guess that's their excuse. But
Hey.
LaFleur, like, I don't understand if John Harbaugh's getting fired,
Yeah.
if Tom Mike Tomlin's walking away because of the fan base, I'm pretty sure.
If Kevin
Like,
Stefanski's getting the boot.
like, let's be real here. Why isn't the NFL why isn't not necessarily the NFL, but the NFL storylines, the NFL, hey,
Mhm.
why aren't we looking into putting him on the roster? But instead, we're trying to extend him. Like, I just don't understand. I think like guys like Mike McCarthy should still, I want to say, should still be a head coach because I think when he went to Dallas, I
Cowboys.
just think it's just a bad situation down there. I don't think anyone can really do anything until
Mhm.
Jerry Jones steps away. But still, like, there's guys that should still have head coaching jobs that don't. Like Brian Flores should still be a head coach somewhere. Like what happened to him in Miami is just like I don't understand.
So
Robert
being
Saleh is a is a decent head coach, and he was stuck with the Jets. Like it's just a bad organization.
yeah.
Like yeah, I get there's some guys that can't be head coaches, like um the old Raiders coach that he's if he ever tries to be a head coach again, I'm sorry.
Oh, John
Like
Gruden?
no, no.
Oh. Oh, Antonio
The
Pierce?
OC, no, the OC at for the Patriots.
Oh, Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there shouldn't, but like there's still some guys out there that should still be head coaches.
Yeah, we'll be
If
getting
if you're firing guys like this,
being a Raiders fan, we'll be taking some deep dives into this coaching carousel because I've been doing not a bunch of research, but I listen to a lot of podcasts and they talk a lot about their players and teams and stuff. But quickly before we get to the next point about Brian Flores, apparently he was toxic, like super toxic in the locker room. Like
he
players
had
hated him.
Tua.
No,
Didn't
no,
he
no,
have
no.
Tua?
It's not
Was it
about
before
Tua.
Tua?
It's about Ryan Fitzpatrick came out and said this man was not the same. So I
Oh,
take Ryan Fitzpatrick's word.
fair enough.
He like flipped a switch and was not the same guy. Like the first season, he was cool, but he's also like, I understand not liking your
But
quarterback.
he was there when they wanted to tank. Like you can't put a coach in a situation where it's like, okay, we want you to win games, but actually like we wouldn't mind having a top pick. Like you're essentially tying a coach's hands behind his back and going, "Hey, write a poem." Like you can't do that.
I think the
So,
problem
like
came from
that's like the whole Stefanski thing.
Brian Flores texted Tua and said you suck though, like repeatedly.
But is he wrong?
That's not how you treat your
Tua's never
quarterback.
Tua's not going to be a starter in the NFL next year. And if he is, we have
Ah,
problems.
I don't know about that. That might be a
There's
reach.
problems.
Aaron Rodgers was a starter this year. Tua's not that bad. He's not
Yeah,
great,
but Aaron
but
Rodgers has football smarts. Tua
Russell Wilson
Tagovailoa
started
doesn't even
this
know how
year.
many. Tua doesn't even know how many fingers he's holding up.
Le- Russell Wilson started this year. Geno Smith started this year. He's gonna
But
start.
Gino
Joe
also had
Flacco started
success.
this year.
Injury
Jake
stuff.
Browning
Yeah,
started this year.
yeah.
There's
Week one starter. Oh, okay. Week one starter. Tua will not be a week one starter.
Dylan Sampson started this year. Shadur
Dylan
Sanders
Sampson.
started this year. Not Dylan
Dylan Sampson's a
Sampson.
running back.
Dylan
Shadur
Gabriel.
Sanders.
Dylan
Dylan
Gabriel started
Gabriel.
this year.
Yeah, well, that's
He's better
because
than all those
they
guys.
organization. Tua? No, he's
Yeah, he's better
he's
than
better,
them.
probably better than Dylan Gabriel because they're
He
both lefties and it's
he'll
easy to compare.
he'll
But
be a bridge quarterback. He's not going to be like the franchise guy anymore.
I'm taking Brissett over Tua. Sorry,
Ugh. Mm, yeah, I
just
don't know. I'm not a Tua guy, but
I've given up all hope on Tua.
I'm also not a lefty quarterback guy. But I'm not gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna do all that. But the last overreaction we have, Eagles blow up their offense. They already fired Kevin Patullo. They could trade and should trade AJ Brown. They probably should have done that during the season.
It's going to the
They need an
Raiders.
offensive line. The offensive line is not what it used to
Didn't
be.
look good. It didn't.
Saquon Barkley is almost 30 years old.
He had the
And
Madden curse this year, guys.
once you
Give him
hit
a break.
30, it's all downhill from there at running back. Derrick Henry is the only like unicorn that I can think
How
of.
old is Christian McCaffrey?
I don't know. I don't think he's 30 though.
32, I believe.
He's 29.
Oh,
Yeah.
not there yet.
No. He turns 30 in June. Saquon Barkley turns 30 this month. No, next month, February 9th. Oh, he's 28. But regardless,
It's fine.
older. Downhill. Jalen Hurts.
Not an NFL quarterback.
You're full of baloney.
Now he is not in the system.
No,
Not in the
no.
system.
Well, so here's
Not
something.
the way they played this year.
No. Here's the thing that just popped in my head. Not popped in my head, but I finally realized was this man has had so many offensive coordinators. Like, it's actually ridiculous. I feel bad for him because nobody seems to have mentioned that. They mention how he's never playing up to par, what have you, blah, 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 blah. But this man's had, like, I think 7 offensive coordinators. He's in the same boat as, like, what Derek Carr was, what Justin Herbert was in the beginning of his career. Who else? There's been a slew of guys who have been just offensive coordinator, revolving door, and it's very, very rare that you see guys go and excel like that. And I don't think it's fair to Jalen Hurts to do that.
I think that's what's good for Caleb Williams now.
Yeah.
Is Ben Johnson will be there for a while.
That's why it's important to have an offensive-minded head coach, which is what I'm looking forward to as a Raiders fan. But those are my 3 overreactions. I agree with not the Patriots, the Chargers and the Eagles one. I would love if Matt LaFleur got fired because I wouldn't mind him being the Raiders head coach. But yeah, so after that, we have our extra point. So our extra point is what used to be our 2-minute warning. Extra point is just what's our last little hot take? What's our last little point of the episode? That kind of thing. So hot takes for teams that were eliminated or won. So mine, the Bears won. That was my hot take. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I'm happy that they did. Oh, wait. No, that was supposed to be for next episode.
So.
Well, yeah, that'd be an I told you so. So, yeah, I told you so. The Bears won. Very happy with that. I don't know that I had a hot take for this one. No, I didn't.
My hot take is somehow, some way, the Ravens will end up with Mike Tomlin.
It's quite the hot take.
What the owner had to say was kind of like,
Yeah.
He didn't necessarily deflect the idea. He sounded kind of grinny about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tomlin's probably going to end up with a TV job somewhere because of TV announcers, analysts are getting a boatload of money now.
Mm-hmm.
And the success that he's had versus guys that have hit the TV market as coaches, I think Tomlin is a lot more better. Words there, but Jason Garrett is a football analyst. He's actually interviewed for a head coaching job for the Titans, by the way.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Tomlin could end up with the Ravens. I think him and Lamar would be a pretty good fun duo of guys that just love football and like the ball.
Antonio Pierce also got a interview for a head coach somewhere. Yeah, with the Giants.
What to say? I feel like he interviewed with the Giants.
Yeah, New York Giants impressed by Antonio Pierce in head coaching interview. So interesting. But that'll wrap up our recap video here for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and let us know down below what you think about this new blocking kind of thing, these new segments. Did it feel more congruent? Not congruent, like more flowy? Did it feel better? I'm hoping so. This offseason, we're going to try to make some moves here and try to get some new people in for the viewership. Really get this ball rolling before the next season comes. So without further ado, we'll see you guys later this week in the preview for the division championship. Peace.